Hello everyone, Werner here. Well, it's about that time again where I talk about autism once again, because it's April. And since April's officially over, I thought it's time that I'd steer my focus into that. Now, quick little warning before we get any farther into this video. This is being recorded live, so there's going to be a couple stutters and ums and uhs in this thing, so just thought I'd let you know ahead of time. Anyways, if you haven't seen the last video, I suggest that you go watch that first before coming back here, because some points here could be addressed there, so yeah. Anyway, let's get started. So, for those of you who have seen the last video and you've been caught up, you actually know that I am a part of the autism spectrum, particularly Asperger's syndrome. Now, I've done a lot of research and learned a lot since then. In looking at the definition of Asperger's syndrome, it's a developmental disorder related to autism and characterized by higher than average intellectual ability coupled with impaired social skills and restrictive, repetitive patterns of interest and activities. Now, what does this have to do with me? Well, since I do belong to that group, there are a couple of things that I do. How do I explain this? Some of that stuff could be characterized here. I have a high interest in video games, and that's why I decided to join gamers and all that. And also, I am incredibly smart. You see, autism people, well, people with autism really, are not stupid. Because some of them can actually be smarter than the average person. Because Asperger's, it may hinder learning experiences, but they could be extremely smart. So I don't get what the people saying. It's just being stereotypical. But that's not what here I'm talking about. Anyways, I found this really interesting post while looking through my Google Plus feed this afternoon, and I found something very interesting. And it was from Jurassic Saphole. Kind of an interesting name, but okay. And I'm going to read it to you word for word right now. April is Autism Awareness Month, so here are a few reminders for you to keep in mind. Autism Speaks is a hate group. Now, I'm actually not very sure about this, but I have heard a lot of things about Autism Speaks, particularly the mysterious Mr. Enter's video on it. And yes, I have watched it, so I completely know about Autism Speaks, and to be honest, with what I've heard, it disgusts me. So, that's not about that. The reasoning behind Lighted Up Blue is that there's more autistic boys than girls. It stems from a tendency in doctors to base their autism diagnosis on stereotypes and sometimes refuse to diagnose girls. Honestly, there are autistic girls out there. I have met Demenstar, and she has autism just like I do. In fact, she has the same condition as I do. Most autistic people don't want a cure for autism and don't support Autism Speaks. Now, I actually am one of those people. For what I am, I'm completely fine. I can get along with the real world. There are some hindrances, of course, but I am getting proper therapy and all that junk. And yeah. Autism Speaks have been abusive, ableist parents legitimately by portraying autism as a terrifying, life-ruining affliction and sympathizing with parents who have contemplated killing their children or actually killed them. Oh boy, here we go. Well, the thing is, autism parents, which I have only met one, really, they truly care for their children. So, honestly, I don't get what the big deal is. Either that or Autism Speaks is saying it's this terrible thing. Your child has been afflicted for life. There is nothing you can do. I am autism. I follow you everywhere. I don't sleep, so I make sure you don't sleep either. Those were from the actual Autism Speaks video that Mr. Enter actually commentated on. And yes, I'm gonna be bringing up Mr. Enter a lot in this thing, so get used to it. The views of autistic people are more important in this topic than the views of our autistic family members and peers. Yes, that is completely true, because, you see, how do I explain this thing? Autistic people cannot get along very well with other peers, mostly because of this social... I don't even know. Mostly because of the social stereotypes that we have to go through in our everyday life. My school days are hell because of the stereotypes that I had to be going through. People think they have every right to belittle me because I am an autistic person. And honestly, I think that's freaking stupid. Anyone with the right mind would think that was stupid. Okay, here's a big one. Autism is not a disease. This has been brought up a lot. And I'm going to say to you right now, that is true. Autism is not a disease. You cannot catch it. You are born with it, and you're stuck with it for the rest of your life. You cannot give it to somebody. Well, unless you're being born, and you do have the 1 out of, 4 chance to get an autistic child, which, unfortunately for me, I did get into that chance, but, yeah. Very little, about 4% of Autism Speaks proceeds to go towards supporting autistic people. More of it goes towards catering. So, if you guys don't know what this is, I'm pretty sure it's just catering to the people, or more specifically, the parents of autistic children who don't think they can live their lives with an autistic child. Autism is not a tragedy. Of course it's not. It's just a certain brain condition. With proper therapy and proper related stuff, you could just get your child working like your everyday citizen of the United States of America, or Australia, United Kingdom. I don't know where you guys live, Canada. Ugh. What autistic people need is acceptance, not awareness. Yes, if your child is autistic, you just need to suck it up and accept it, and then do what you need to do to make sure they have the proper life that they deserve. Not everybody deserves to die. Just because your child is autistic, that doesn't give you every right to kill them. More than likely, it'll end up with you ending up in jail. Well, I don't know any other country's laws, but you get my drift. And that's everything on the post. Wow. Having to explain
all that was just a giant mouthful for me.
But anyways, back to Autism Speaks itself. I'm actually going to look up what Autism Speaks actually is. Because Autism Speaks, for what I've heard, is an autistic-related group catering towards autistic people and trying to help them. And what you've read from the post, about 4. You heard me right. 4% actually goes towards helping them. And I actually saw an Autism Speaks ad when I was looking at the definition for what is Asperger's syndrome. And I'm actually going to read it. Autism Speaks is dedicated to helping individuals and families. And it says, donate, symptoms, frequently asked questions, and causes. I suggest you go watch the main series, Mr. Enter's video about the Autism Speaks thing, because a lot of us, I don't even know anymore. All this stuff, and all the stereotypes that we had to go through, really just pisses me off. And I'm pretty sure it pisses a lot of other people off, too. I know a lot of people who, not a lot of people, just like a few people who go through the same process. I know someone who's got ADHD. I know someone who has autism just like I do. Well, aside from Demand Star, but I'm not going to say any other names aside from that, but whatever. It's basically why it's kind of hard for me to restrict my TV remote. Whatever you do. And it's kind of hard for me to get going in everyday life, and with proper therapy, it can be done. It's just that not a lot of people know that it's actually possible for a cure. Because autism cannot be cured. It can be treated, but it cannot be completely cured. Which, honestly, is something that I don't really get. But, honestly, I'd much rather have treatment than an actual cure. Because there are benefits to having autism. People don't usually think of that. Because if you're an autistic child, then there's more catering towards you, because they get to do a lot of other stuff to you. Although that does mean you have to, actually I don't even know. My life has just been upside down ever since I found that out. And I've been knowing about this, and I've been doing a little bit of research on it. Yeah, big shock. Bird does research. And, yeah. So, people, I think that's basically about it. And if you guys have any questions about autism, I suggest that you actually go to a trusted source that isn't Autism Speaks, because honestly, that thing offends me, so, anyways, people, this is the end for me. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.